Hey everybody, this is Aeroica with another episode of Dungeon Boss, and I am super excited to be able to do this particular episode. I have been saving up probably for the last week and a half, maybe a little bit longer, and I finally was able to accumulate 25,000 honor. And I wanted to do this for you guys because I wanted to show you. I know that there's been some episodes out there with like 5,000 and maybe 12,000, but I was like, you know what? Let's do something really cool, a little bit longer, and a little bit so we can basically even get a better grasp about what these portals will actually give you. So this is going to ultimately end up being right around 50 rolls. It will be 50 rolls, and we'll be able to see what we're getting here. So I have to tell you, I have been PvPing like absolute crazy, trying to get some kind of a lead in anything really. And I actually, in this particular tournament that you're looking at here, I actually was up in the teens for a little bit and got pushed down. And then in the previous tournament, I was actually making it up into the single digits. I was in first place for a hot second, and then I got pushed out. So some of these guys with the gems to do it are just going to be unstoppable. But no excuses. I certainly gave it all that I possibly could and made every effort to make my attacks worthwhile. But some of them are just ridiculous. In any case here, I should have some, yep, and I did already look at that, my Dungeon Boss tournament reward. So there's another roll that I can have. And then let's see what my shared heroes. Okay, so definitely got 30. For those of you on this friends list, I just don't have space right now. And as soon as I get a chance to clear, I try to clear off once a week, I will get you guys added in for those that watch this. All right, so let's go take a look at the portal here real quick. And we're going to go to the Honor Summon. And so let's go ahead and take a look real quick at what's available. So we have Chief Nub, Manglejaw, Squinch, Ignis the Mad. All of these are going to be in here. If I had to say, I already have Chief Nub Nub completely. I'm going to tip this down for a minute. I already have Chief Nub Nub already 5-starred for myself, so I'm not really too worried about him. If I had to say there was anybody on here that I really wanted, I would kind of really curious about Black Smoke here, and definitely Theron as well. I don't really have a lot of strong water guys, but I'm also hoping to get some Evos here and some other things that are going to be good. So, also before I begin this, I had also taken a look at maybe spending some of these on getting Ella, but then I decided it wasn't something I really wanted to do. So, by the way, also, I will, oh, that's good. I definitely can use that. I will put at the end of this, if you didn't want to watch the entire 50 rolls here, I'm going to put a summary of what I got at the end of the video, and I'll look for that link in the description or the time frame, and you'll know exactly where to go. That's good. I can finally get Takumi, gotten a star for him, so that's good. See what else we get here. Kind of exciting. It's almost like Christmas with every roll, but I wish some of the stuff that we had were going to be like for not like Julius, because he's already done, but some of the other stuff I wish they could show up in here as well, but there's probably a reason for that. All right, just what I had asked for. 25 hero tokens for Black Smoke, exactly what I had just said. So that is awesome and amazing. Let's see what else we get here. Now, I have to tell you, this was saving up this, that's a nice token. I mean, a nice Evo. Saving up this honor was not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really thought, oh, very good. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. PvP'd a lot. I used all my friends as much as possible. I made every effort to save and get honor from any source that I could, and I would say probably about a week and a half it took me to get this hero summons. I'm hoping for something big here. I like the 25s. That gets me kind of going here. It makes me feel like I got a chance at actually maybe doing something, with one of the heroes here. But yeah, I didn't think I could bring myself into spending it on Ella. I mean, I definitely could have done some work on her, but just wasn't interested, I think. I've only seen her a couple of times in PvP, and I wasn't horribly impressed. All right, I finally got this guy unlocked. I did not have him. I can't say I'm overly impressed with him. He does okay, but I will take a hero over nothing. Not going to complain about that at all. That's good. So getting into PvP while we're doing this, I have not come to the realization that if you're going to PvP, get ready to spend some gems if you really want to compete in the upper tiers. I did my best to try to see what it would be like to not spend any gems. And it was impossible for me to do it. I because you only get four, and then you only get the allotment. What is it? One every 2 hours, I think it is, and that is just not fast enough a rate for you to compete with the people that are out there. Either because the timing is off. You may have spent yours, and then maybe they decide to come, after you, and so then you have no more rolls left to defend yourself from them moving up the ladder, and maybe they're got a better team, or maybe they just got lucky with their kills, whatever the case may be, or face it, they're just better than I am, and they decided to, were able to move up the ladder significantly more so than in their 4 turns than in my 4 turns, and that kind of sucks. So for me, I had to spend some gems, which I did, to try to at least defend where I was. So in one of the tournaments, I had managed to get, here we go, 25 for Takumi. This is going to be good. If I'm lucky, I might be able to get him to a 5-star. But in any case, where I was going with that was, I managed to be able to get the first spot, maybe like in the first 12 hours of that particular event happening, or 35 tokens for him. I have never seen 35 tokens before. 25 I've seen for sure, but I have never seen 35 tokens for anyone ever. So that's awesome. Really, really cool. But anyway, so when this particular event started, 25 for Black Diamond. I'm never going to be able to finish the story. I keep having to start over because I keep getting good rolls. Maybe this is the key. Keep trying to talk, and you'll get 25 tokens or 35 tokens. And there it is again. That's awesome. I don't think I'm going to tell you the story. I think I'm just going to continue to try to tell you the story and hope that I pick something awesome up. So anyway, when the league had started and I managed to make it into first place, I was able to hold on to that first place for about 12 hours. And then all of a sudden, man, I just got smoked. Like people were coming up out of nowhere, taking over spots and putting a really big dent, in the ranks. And the next thing I know, I went from 1 to like 3, and then all of a sudden I'm in the top 10, and I'm like, wow. And then I'm looking at the spread. So, before it was only maybe, I don't know, maybe like 50 or 60 difference between where I was and where the top guy was. And then it seemed like literally in hours it was, almost 500. And, you lose one battle, or, somebody defeats you in your dungeon, and, it's almost impossible to make up for that without having to spend gems to compete. So I don't know. And I, as far as PvP goes, probably not. I mean, I am definitely not a pro at it. Sometimes I see the same names, at least in my tier, quite often, in the same areas. They're usually in the top 25. You can see the same people most of the time. But for me, I feel happy just to be able to get, somewhere in the top, if I'm in the top 50, I feel like I've done a really, really good job for me. But, some people have a knack for it. Some people really do some serious hardcore theory crafting into it. So that's another thing to consider. But I really do enjoy it. I know that PvP probably has not been, it's been a sore spot for some people. And that's understandable in some cases, but I've been otherwise very, very happy doing it. It's kind of a neat break from the dungeon grinds to go in there and say, hey, can I do this? And I'm really, you start to see trends too in some of the dungeons with what people are doing. I hate to call them cookie cutters, but that's really what they are. You start seeing the same team setups or similar team setups throughout all of your opponents, and so then it becomes a cookie cutter type of defense. You know how to handle it. So let's take a second and talk about that. Who are we always going to see in someone's defense 99.5% of the time? Tsumi. Always going to be there, right? Because the guy is just wicked, disgusting, and he does amazing damage, and he's probably overpowered, but everybody uses him. And then, of course, you see Bovis. And usually he's in conjunction with Yoko. And that is a nasty little defense to come up across. So, of course, if you're not familiar, Yoko, sumo wrestler type tank, and he has an attack that will cause your entire team to become dizzy, which means you lose a certain percentage of accuracy depending on the level of the attack based on the character's level. And then, of course, if you level up that particular attack, then it becomes more high percentage of your missing. And then, of course, you have Bovis, which causes you to lose an energy, which is basically a round staller. So you're going to lose a round of being able to use any of your particular attacks. But so you usually see, well, before it would seem like I would only encounter one of those, and now I'm finding them in combination with each other. So if you have a fast attacking team member, and that is strong enough to take out one of those guys, then you've mitigated at least 50% of the defense mechanism that's in place. So like for me, I will go in with my Willow, who's 5-starred, and if I see a 2-star, sometimes a 3-star I can do this on, but it's not as consistent as a 2-star Yoko, since grass, has an advantage over water in terms of damage. Then I can take out a 2-star Yoko with a single shot from Willow, and then all I have to deal with is the 1-round staller from Bovis if he's there. But what I'm usually seeing in this is I'll see Yoko, I will see Bovis, and then of course Tasumi is in there as well, and it's that's just it can be super nasty if you have to handle all three of those. And I bring a healer with me. I bring Nub Nub with me, which may be a mistake because I feel like it saves my butt more often than not. But if he's not in there, I feel like something critical is missing from my team, and I don't tend to do as well. So either I have a knack for working it out, or I get super lucky, one of the two. But I seem to typically get a heal off at least the majority of the time. Maybe 7 times out of 10 I get the heal off, and then the other times it doesn't work. But I will say for me, what seems most frustrating is it seems like there's like a level of inconsistency. So I can go in and take out a team of the same characters, and maybe there's maybe a star difference, a very minimal difference, I would say. And it is like night and day attacking that same team. So I go in and I've got a tactic that I use, an anti-defense strategy that I'll employ against the cookie cutter teams, which are typically Willow or Nimrel, and then of course Tasumi, Yoko, and then Bovis. And I'll have a plan that usually works most of the time. And then for whatever reason, and I still don't quite understand it, is that one time that will work, no problem, and then the next time it absolutely will not work, and I will get my butt handed to me rather quickly. And again, we're not talking about, because it's level 45 versus 55 or something ridiculous like that. I'm not saying that, and I'm well aware that stars make a big difference. That there's definitely a stat increase. But man, I don't know. Either it's just sometimes it's with the inevitable things that like dodges and so forth that it can occur, and that definitely changes the tide. There's been plenty of times where I've had the Yoko Bovis dual team going on, and I'll miss on Yoko, and then that's the end of that. It's just very hard to recover. Anyway. So wrapping up here, just cleaning up some of the stuff that I've got on my screen here, and I really appreciate that you guys taking the time to watch this. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got to see, what it's like to blow 25,000 honor on the portals, and we'll take a look at that. So the tally will be coming up here shortly. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe. Really need some subscriptions like super bad. I appreciate the 18 people that I've got. It's awesome. I'm so happy to have that, better than 0. But anything more, to get help more people out, and entertain more people. That's kind of what this is all about. Give them a helping hand with the game and bring some good information. So hopefully, anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you very much for watching the video again, and I will see you at the next video.